Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through an upper dynamic workout. So this workout is the third in my 3-week cycle. So it's the heaviest week, or it should be if I got my maths right on the first week. Had a bit of a blip there, but was back on track last week. So here I'm doing 85% of my 1 rep max. That's bar plus band tension for 3 sets of 5, and just trying to move this as fast as possible. As the name suggests, dynamic effort, trying to maintain fast bar speed and work on exploding to lockout, so that when it comes to max efforts, I've got more power, more explosiveness to put the horsepower down and recruit my motor units faster to help blast through sticking points and all the way to lockout. So those moved well, and the bar speed I was very happy with. So moving on to the first accessory here, it is overhead Swiss bar tricep extension. So I went a bit lighter with these than I normally do. I normally go in the range of like 55 to 65 kilos for less reps, but here I was trying to focus on going deeper and getting a better stretch in the triceps, which I definitely felt in that bottom position around the elbow, and I was focusing on just getting higher reps and pumping more blood into the triceps. So over the past sort of few months, I've been building up my accessories heavier and heavier. However, I was finding that I was very run down within my sessions. I've been missing GPP sessions because my main sessions have been fatiguing me so much. So I do plan on reintroducing my GPP sessions. If you have watched some of my older videos and wondered where they have gone, it was because I was training my accessories too heavy and too hard. So there I was happy with those sets of overhead tricep extensions, just hitting some clean sets of 12. Then the next accessory here, leading on from that, is classic barbell rows. And again, I'm doing these a bit lighter at 100 kilos. I can normally do sets of like 12 at 120 kilos. Here I'm doing sets of 20 at 100 kilos. And these absolutely pumped up my upper back, specifically my traps. I particularly target the very top of my back with my barbell rows because I do it with quite an upright torso position. So other people disagree with this. You'll hear like 8 times Mr. Olympia Lee Haney says your back should basically be parallel to the floor. I find that that puts way too much pressure on my lower back. Like, it cannot support my weight leaning all the way out. So I stay more upright, and it allows me to hit my traps and upper back more, versus being flatter makes it more of like a horizontal pull and turns it into prioritizing the lats more. And I already hit the lats on things like lat pull down, so I'm trying to hit the very upper back like my traps and create a big shelf to bench off, and for the bar to rest on the squat, and to stabilize the weight in the deadlift. So they were effective there. Then my next accessory here was dumbbell press. Now you can see I'm covered in sweat, and I was feeling very fatigued within this workout, even having done higher rep sets before. So there I misgrooved like an 8th rep and only got a set of 8. As you can see, I was shaking my head and not too happy with that, because usually I would expect at least 10 reps, somewhere in the range of 10 to 12 reps. When I've done this weight fresh, I've been able to get a set of 15 before. So on this second set, I think my handoff, like flicking the dumbbells into the starting position, was a little more efficient, and I didn't misgroove a rep. So I managed to get 9 reps on this second set, and I normally always get less reps on the second set, but I got 1 more and like a tiny quarter rep where I was just sort of pushing to failure. But these indicated to me that I was feeling very fatigued. I mean, it is the 3rd week in my 3-week wave. Next week is a deload. So I have been pushing very hard, and that is showing there. And it is very hot in the UK now, unlike pretty much all year round. So that is another reason why I'm sweating and fatigued. So when this happens, you have to manage your training. A workout can look great on paper, but when you get into the gym, you have to take into account how your body is feeling and do what is optimal for you to become strong in the long run. Basically, we are training here. It doesn't matter how strong I am today, it matters how strong I am on competition day. So for this next accessory here, the Lou raises, I dropped all the way down down to my lightest dumbbells, the 5 kilo dumbbells. Normally I do loo raises with like the 10 kilo dumbbells for sets of sort of 12 with some extra lateral raises, or I do them with like the 15 kilos for a set of 6 and then pump the delts up more with some extra lateral raises as a sort of superset. Here I did a set of I think 20 and the first set with the 5 kilo dumbbells, and the second set I think I only got 18 reps and then did some extra lateral raises to pump up the delts, and these were actually crazy effective. My delts were very pumped after this. It actually affected my next accessory because the delts were a stabilizing movement, but it just shows that going light, you need to leave your ego at the door and do what is objectively best. And I was very happy that I did do the loo raises with these light dumbbells, got a load of blood into the muscles, and didn't contribute to further fatigue within the workout and over the next few days before my deload week. So the next accessory here was bicep curls, specifically alternating dumbbell curls. Now, the delt doesn't play a huge role in this, but it does help stabilize the upper arm. So you're trying to keep your upper arm fixed down by your sides to allow you to curl and allow your bicep to curl the way up. However, as this set goes on, you'll see I start to lean more and more to the side, and I only got a set of 20, which is like 10 per arm, and I'm normally way stronger than that. I should be in the range of like 16 to 18 reps per arm. So one, that is just me being fatigued. It is the end of my 3-week wave and I am tireder, like I've mentioned, but also those loo raises which had pumped my delts up so much. You'll see me here as it skips through the rest. I grab my delts while sitting in the corner. They are what is sore here. So for the second set, I decided to switch to hammer curls. So because it's dual arm instead of one arm at a time, it just takes the delt out of it a bit more, and hammer curls are just a bit more comfortable for me to do that. There's a little bit of body swaying, but these still felt like they hit the biceps fantastically, particularly the contraction on the biceps, and I had a bit of like a vicious burn right at the end in the biceps, which is nice. I mean, I love to train to failure. For bodybuilding, I believe in training to failure basically all the time, but I am now having to work on dialing back my intensity of my accessories for powerlifting, because it is a performance-based sport. Bodybuilding, it doesn't matter if you're weaker because you've burnt yourself out due to training to failure from a previous session. Powerlifting, it does. If I come in and I'm way weaker for my max efforts, it just sort of tanks the whole system and my dynamic efforts. So that is why I have been doing lighter accessories. So the next accessory, final accessory here, is GHD sit-ups. So I'm doing these, unlike traditional GHD sit-ups, which are done by CrossFitters, where you have to like touch the ground, fling yourself back to touch the ground and then touch the leg rollers. I think they do that for the sport because it's an objective way to measure each rep, like have you touched the ground and have you touched the leg rollers, so you can allow or disallow reps very clearly. But if you're just doing GHD sit-ups like me, obviously I am not a CrossFitter, I'm doing them to develop my abs. I'm just trying to lower a bit slower down and get a good stretch on the abs, and this definitely worked. At the time of recording this, it's the following morning after the workout and my abs are already tender. So DOMs normally peak after like 2 days. I imagine they'll be much more sore tomorrow as well, but these felt fantastic, and I have been training isometrics for the abs. That's because in powerlifting you normally use your abs isometrically whilst bracing, but it's also great to go through range of motion training. Like this definitely hit my abs very effectively. Case in point, why they are tender today. It also hits my hip flexors while doing this as well, but I'm not too worried about that. My abs are still the failing point, and getting some extra work in for the hip flexors is not something that I'm worried about. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all that good stuff. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for watching to the end, and I hope you have a great day.